Hi everyone, this is a short video about fingerpicking patterns that are useful, common and useful fingerpicking patterns. First of all, excuse my terrible handwriting and bad drawing skills, but hopefully it'll be enough to get the point across. So when we're referring to the left hand, we use numbers. So the index finger is 1, middle 2, ring 3, and pinky is 4. And occasionally we do use the thumb on the left hand, not in this video, but in other cases. And if you do use the thumb on the fretboard, you label it with a T. On the right hand, the thumb is T, index is I, middle is M, R is ring, and L or C is the little finger, and you always use letters for the right hand and numbers for the left hand. There's a code for describing fingerpicking patterns that's pretty useful. You say a letter and a number. The letter is the right hand finger, T in this case. 6 refers to the string on the guitar. The 6th string, of course, is the thickest string. The first string is the thinnest string, highest pitched string. The 6th string is the lowest pitched string. So T6 simply means the thumb plays the 6th string. T5 means thumb plays the 5th string. M2 would mean the middle finger plays the 2nd string, and so on. So now let's get into a pattern here. This pattern is called the pinch pattern. It's got other names as well, but it's called that because the first attack that you do is 2 strings together at the same time in a sort of pinching motion, and they are T6 and M2, which is thumb plays the 6th, middle plays the 2nd, and this is going to be on an open G chord. Then you follow that with T4, I3, T6, M2, T4, and then the rhythm is quarter note, 4/8 notes and a quarter, so 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Now if it's hard for you to go right to that stage, just go very slowly and make sure you're doing everything accurately. Just take your time, be accurate, make sure you're playing the correct string with the correct finger. After a while, when you get the sequence down, then you can start doing it in time very slowly. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. After that, then all you're doing is you're applying it to different string sets. So, for example, a chord that's a chord. G is a chord that has its low root on the 6th string. So that's how you distribute your picking pattern over those important strings. For the C chord, for example, now the lowest root is on the 5th string, so you just simply move your lowest note that's played by the thumb to be the 5th string instead of the 6th, and everything else is the same. So T5 and M2, I'm now looking at this pattern. Okay, and finally for D, for example, or D minor or F, or any of these common patterns, chords that use the top 4 strings, and have a root on the 4th string, you just move the entire pattern one string set. So instead of T5 and M2, it's now T4 and M1. I'll do it on a D chord. And notice that you're not even using the ring finger on this pattern, so it's just a 3-finger pattern. T4 and M1, T3, I2, T4, M1, T3. Now, one other important comment. When you're practicing this stuff, if it's new to you, you need to play slowly and loudly. Dig in, because your fingers, your brain, your neuromuscular system has to learn where these strings are. So you should actually play like this. Really be very definite. If you do that for a while and don't try to rush and speed up prematurely, then when you're ready, you will be able to go quite easily if you ramp up to it in the right way. So a quick little pattern, I'll do a G, C, D, G, just with the pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. In other videos, I'll show more advanced things where you can move notes, create patterns with anticipation, stuff like you're sort of sometimes doing the pinch, sometimes you're not. Okay, now part 2 of the video is coming up with a second version of this pattern. Okay, version 2 displaces the pinch and puts it on beat 2. So instead of, we go like that, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this is another really popular one. It gets a different kind of a quality to it. It's often called the bounce pattern. It's kind of a bounce to it. Now you can do it as a 1 measure pattern. That gives you the bounce every every measure, or you can do it down here as a 2 measure version where the first measure is the bounce and the second measure is just a cross stitch pattern. Going to C, going to D, and again, in as applied to something like Net of Jewels, you can take these ideas and go up the neck with them and come up with some interesting things. So I'll just do something at random, like say here. And so what you create, the kind of music you create with these patterns doesn't always have to necessarily sound sort of folky. You can create some other interesting textures with them. Okay, that's it. Have fun with this stuff and let me know if you have questions.